Good morning, it's Aneta here from Aneta Yoga Studio and Wellness. How are you this morning? It's Thursday, 18th of January, and I'm showing up here to talk to you today a little bit about finding and connecting your why you do your daily yoga or mindfulness practice or meditation practice. I've been teaching now for 8 years, and I do a lot of workshops, I do a lot of private sessions, I do a lot of yoga wellness sessions where I work with people for a period of 3 months in quite an intensive way, with a lot of homework, with a lot of connecting with people, finding where they are at. And one thing that comes up always is that kind of questioning, how can I do the daily practice? How can I squeeze something else into my very, very busy life? My life is very busy. I work, I have kids, I have other commitments, looking after other people like parents. I have to look after everybody else's needs. My needs are right at the bottom. So how can I find even yet another 15 or 20 minutes to really focus on myself? There isn't any time. And I think that comes from a very simple misunderstanding of why we're doing this practice. And so if we look at our practice as yet another thing to do, another thing to squeeze into our already very busy lives, we're not gonna be able to motivate ourselves for very long. We will do it for a period of time and then we give it up because it's too much work. We have to do it, especially if we're finding it challenging, especially if we're finding that moving the body is challenging, that there isn't maybe a regular time that we can do our practice in, that sometimes we have to move it around. Maybe we will find it that when we sit down to meditation, our mind is so busy that, it becomes really, really challenging rather than something that we look forward to. And so, if we explore why most of us come to yoga practice or to meditation practice, we come for various reasons initially. So some of them are physical reasons, like we've got a back pain, or we feel really stiff, or we've got shoulder pain, or we've got neck pain, or it's recommended by the doctors, or we feel very unfit, or we've got no strength, all the physical stuff, or we're not sleeping really well. So we can come from that perspective that we want to start moving our body and work on a very physical level. Or we can come from that because of something that is going on the mental level. So we feel stressed out, we feel anxious, maybe we have panic attacks, maybe, we want to feel calm, we want to experience a little bit of peace. A lot of people talk about this really wonderful benefits of meditation, of sitting down and calming down the nervous system. And so we want a little bit of that. Or maybe it's on the emotional level that we feel quite emotionally overwhelmed. We feel quite unstable emotionally. One moment we are really happy, the next moment we are really low. Maybe we're even experiencing depression. And maybe even we are on medication for depression. So whatever level we come in, it's a good start. It's really brilliant. And maybe it is that sense of disconnection from the life. So maybe it's even on that soul level, that we might not call it on the soul level ourselves, but we know that we feel disconnected. We're somehow watching the life just passing by. And whatever level you come in, whether it's physical, mental, emotional, or that soul level, it's a really great way to start. But it will not, if we stay on that level, it will not support us in doing daily practice when the things start getting difficult, when something happens in your relationship, or something happens in your work, or you experience bereavement, or you experience any loss, or you get ill, or somebody else gets ill, or the challenges of the daily life, it will throw us out, and we kind of lose connection with the daily practice. And so bringing within the yogic practice, there are few things, but the two things that I wanted to mention today and focus on one of them especially. The two things is the sankalpa, which is the intention, bringing the intention to your practice. What I want to kind of bring, what am I going to focus on, what am I going to bring into the practice on the mat and then into the life. And the other one is drishti, which is the focus, which is kind of concentrated intention, where we use it through our eyes on the mat, and then we can bring it into daily life. I'm going to talk about drishti next week, because it's a big thing, the same as sankalpa, intention. And so today I'd like to focus on the sankalpa, on the intention that you bring into your practice. Because when you do something intentionally, when you really connect with that intention, you connect with your why you're doing this practice. The intention will carry you forward when the life becomes a little bit more difficult, when the life becomes challenging. And so bringing that intention, having an intention, for example, of really connecting with yourself on all the levels, the physical, mental, emotional and spiritual, that soul, is very different than just thinking, I'm just going to go to the class and stretch out a little bit to ease off my back pain. Once your back pain is gone, that's it, you're done. You stop your practice, you don't have to continue. You achieved your goal. So the sankalpa, the intention, is very different from the goal. The goal is very measurable and something that we work towards, but intention is so much more encompassing, something that will really carry you through. Because if we have got just that goal motivation, once you achieve that, your back is a little bit better, your shoulder is a little bit better, you feel a bit stronger, your mind is calmer, you stop your practice. It will not carry you through long term. And so the way that I like to look at the why and connecting with that intention is, for me, it helps when I think about the intention of wholeness, creating wholeness and harmony for myself within my life. On all those aspects, the physical, mental, emotional and soul, creating that harmony, wholeness and connection on all those levels, and understanding that it's very fluid, understanding that some days I need to focus in my practice more on the physical, some days maybe I'm struggling emotionally, I need to focus more on that emotional aspect. Some days I might feel very disconnected, and therefore I need to focus more on that soul level, connecting with the intention of bringing that harmony and balance and connecting with the wholeness and the oneness around me. So that intention is really important, and it can really shift into that deeper why you're doing this practice. And that also means that you will do the practice that is right for your body, right for you in this present moment in time. Not because I'm just doing vinyasa yoga and this is what I'm doing and I'm just stretching my body, and when you feel tired, you might not be able to do that. I did Ashtanga for quite many years, some days, and this is why I stopped, because some days I couldn't do it. I couldn't continue the intensity of that practice because my lifestyle, I was working in a crisis center with very chaotic drug users, very high impact job, and what I needed was a bit calmer practice. And that's when I came, to learn more about mindfulness as you bring it into your asana practice and, moving more towards yin practices. But I still love vinyasa and I still do dynamic practice when it's right for my body. And so I'd like to hear how you whether you set your intention for your practice, whether you've been able to really connect with that deeper level of why you want to do the practice. And I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to hear what's the intention, what keeps you going and showing up on your mat, what keeps you showing fully for yourself, for that most important relationship that you have with yourself. And how does your intention for your practice spills into your daily life? How does it help with showing fully? Because I always say that how you show up on your mat is how you show up in your daily life. And that mat and life are so connected, they're not disconnected. They always connected. So one of the things, for example, that I teach is about bringing breath into your daily life. It's not just when you're on your mat, in your class or in your practice doing deep breaths. Do them last thing at night when you get to your bed. Do them when you are feeling a bit stressed out, checking in with yourself. How am I feeling? What are my needs right now? Connecting with your inner wisdom and really listening to the feedback and acting on that feedback. And connecting with your intention for your practice. That intention that when you shift it more into wholeness and harmony and connection with self will have profound effects on how you are on your mat and in your daily life. And so please comment and I will respond. Please let me know whether you've already done this work or whether it's the first time you're doing it. Let me know whether it's been helpful. Let me know about your thoughts, about your intention, your sankalpa for your own practice. And next week I will be focusing on drishti, which means focus, that concentrating intention on our mat and off our mat. And I wish you a really wonderful day. Namaste.